In 2008, Jeffrey Epstein told a New York Magazine reporter his net worth exceeded $1 billion. When he died in a Manhattan jail cell 11 years later, court-appointed administrators valued his estate at $581 million. Where did this fortune originate? No one has ever fully answered that question. In our last episode, we examined the arrest and death of Jeffrey Epstein. Today, we trace backward through a life constructed like a maze, where every biographical detail opens onto another mystery. Jeffrey Edward Epstein was born on January 20th, 1953, in Brooklyn, New York, according to his death certificate filed with the New York City Department of Health. His parents, Seymour and Pauline Epstein, worked middle-class jobs in Coney Island. Seymour maintained parks for the city. Pauline served as a school aide. Court documents from the Southern District of New York confirm these details, submitted during estate proceedings. He attended Lafayette High School, but never finished, according to reporting by the New York Times published in July 2019. Yet somehow, by 1974, Epstein secured a teaching position at the prestigious Dalton School in Manhattan. He taught calculus and physics despite lacking a college degree, as confirmed by school records cited in the Miami Herald's Perversion of Justice investigation. At Dalton, something shifted. One student's parent worked at Bear Stearns, the investment bank. By 1976, Epstein had left teaching for Wall Street, joining Bear Stearns as a junior assistant, according to securities filings and Bloomberg reporting from August 2019. 4 years later, he became a limited partner. Then in 1981, he abruptly departed. Bear Stearns cited a policy violation in internal documents, though the firm never specified what rule he broke. The timeline fractures here. What happened next remains contested territory. In 1982, Jeffrey Epstein launched J. Epstein & Company, the firm's stated purpose managing money for clients worth over $1 billion. According to incorporation documents filed in the U.S. Virgin Islands, the business would handle financial affairs exclusively for this ultra-wealthy tier. No marketing materials exist. No public client list was ever published. The New York Times reported in 2019 that former colleagues could not identify any clients beyond one man. That man was Leslie Wexner. Leslie Les Wexner built the limited retail empire from a single store in Columbus, Ohio. By the mid-1980s, his company owned Victoria's Secret, Bath & Body Works, and Abercrombie & Fitch. Forbes estimated his wealth at multiple billions. He stood as one of America's most successful retailers, a philanthropist who donated millions to Ohio State University and medical research. How Epstein and Wexner met remains unclear. Some accounts suggest an introduction through insurance executive Robert Meister at a dinner party in Manhattan. Wexner told Vanity Fair in 2003 that Epstein impressed him with interesting ideas about the market. Court documents from the Southern District of New York indicate that by 1987, Epstein held power of attorney over Wexner's finances. This arrangement was extraordinary. Wexner granted Epstein authority to sign his tax returns, buy and sell properties, borrow money in his name, and execute legal documents without consultation. Financial advisors interviewed by Bloomberg called such comprehensive control unprecedented for someone with no formal credentials or established track record. The Manhattan townhouse tells part of this story. The 7-story residence at 9 East 71st Street sits between 5th and Madison Avenues, one of the city's most expensive blocks. Built in 1930 by architect Horace Trumbauer for Herbert Strauss of the Macy's family, the mansion contains 40 rooms spread across 21,000 square feet. Wexner purchased the property in 1989 for $13.2 million. According to New York City property records, he never lived there. In 1996, those same records show ownership transferred to Epstein. The transfer mechanism remains disputed. Wexner's lawyers told the New York Times he sold the house. Documents obtained by Bloomberg suggest Epstein acquired it for $0. Maria Farmer, who accused Epstein of assault in sworn testimony during the Maxwell trial, worked in that house in 1996. She described marble floors, European paintings, and a room filled with surveillance equipment. The wealth flowed through offshore channels. Epstein established multiple entities in the U.S. Virgin Islands, Southern Trust Company, Maple Inc., Nautilus Inc., and Hyperion Air. The Miami Herald's investigation, published in November 2018, traced these companies through corporate registries. Financial Crimes Enforcement Network reports, referenced in court filings, showed money moving between accounts in ways that obscured beneficial ownership. Southern Trust managed Epstein's primary holdings. Hyperion Air owned his private aircraft, including a Boeing 727, later known in court documents as the Lolita Express. The planes appear in Federal Aviation Administration records under these corporate names, not Epstein's personal ownership. Where did the money originate? This question haunted investigators for decades. Former business associates told Vanity Fair they saw no evidence of typical investment activities, no trading floors, no research analysts, no client reports. The wealth allowed extraordinary access. Epstein cultivated relationships with scientists, donating millions to research institutions. Harvard accepted $6.5 million between 1998 and 2008, according to university records reviewed by the Harvard Crimson. MIT received $800,000, prompting an investigation led by law firm Goodwin Procter after Epstein's arrest. The report, released in January 2020, concluded the university exercised significant errors in judgment. He funded the Santa Fe Institute in New Mexico. He sat on the board of Rockefeller University and the Mind, Brain, and Behavior Committee at Harvard. Nobel laureates attended conferences he organized. Theoretical physicist Stephen Hawking visited Little St. James Island in March 2006, according to photographs published by The Sun and confirmed by flight manifests. Politicians crossed his path. Former President William Jefferson Clinton flew on Epstein's private aircraft multiple times between 2002 and 2003, according to flight logs obtained by Fox News. Clinton spokesperson Angel Urena stated the former president took a total of 4 trips for Clinton Foundation work. Flight logs show at least 26 flights. Clinton has denied visiting Little St. James. Former President Donald John Trump socialized with Epstein in Palm Beach during the 1990s. New York Magazine published photographs from a 1992 Mar-a-Lago party. Trump told New York Magazine in 2002, "I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side." In 2019, Trump told reporters their friendship ended approximately 15 years earlier, stating, "I was not a fan." Prince Andrew, Duke of York, second son of Queen Elizabeth II, maintained a friendship with Epstein through Ghislaine Maxwell. Virginia Roberts Giuffre alleged in her deposition that Maxwell directed her to have sexual relations with Prince Andrew when she was 17. The prince denied all allegations in a November 2019 BBC Newsnight interview. In February 2022, Prince Andrew settled Giuffre's civil lawsuit for an undisclosed sum. The settlement included no admission of liability. Epstein owned properties that facilitated his activities. Besides the Manhattan mansion and Palm Beach residence, he purchased Little St. James Island in the United States Virgin Islands for $7.95 million in 1998, according to property records. Local residents called it Pedophile Island, reported The Guardian. He bought neighboring Great St. James Island in 2016 for $17.5 million. His Zorro Ranch in Stanley, New Mexico, encompassed 7,500 acres. The ranch symbolized Epstein's interest in transhumanism and genetic engineering, interests documented in his conversations with scientists, reported by the New York Times. The 2008 plea agreement represents a pivotal failure. Alexander Acosta, then United States Attorney for the Southern District of Florida, later Secretary of Labor under President Trump, negotiated the deal. The Miami Herald's Perversion of Justice series revealed prosecutors identified 36 underage victims, but charged Epstein with only 2 state prostitution offenses. The non-prosecution agreement, signed June 30, 2008, granted immunity to any potential co-conspirators. Epstein served 13 months in Palm Beach County Jail under a work release program, allowing him to leave 12 hours daily, 6 days weekly. Victims were not notified of the plea deal, violating the Crime Victims' Rights Act. Judge Kenneth Mara ruled in February 2019 that prosecutors broke the law. Acosta resigned as Labor Secretary in July 2019 after renewed scrutiny. What do we know with certainty? Jeffrey Edward Epstein was convicted of procuring underage girls. He built relationships with powerful individuals across science, politics, business, and royalty. His wealth remains unexplained. His properties served as locations where crimes occurred, according to victim testimony and FBI evidence presented in the Maxwell trial. What remains uncertain? The full scope of his activities, the complete list of participants, and the source of his fortune. Thousands of court documents remain sealed. Flight logs are incomplete. Banking records have not been fully disclosed. Episode 3 examines Ghislaine Maxwell, daughter of media mogul Robert Maxwell, Epstein's closest associate, convicted accomplice. Who was she before Epstein? How did their partnership function? What did the trial reveal? This was an episode about Jeffrey Epstein, about a man whose biography reads like a puzzle with missing pieces. This channel depends on your support. If this content matters to you, link in the description. Subscribe. See you next time.